All right, it's time. It's time. We're gonna be playing one league. It's a donation league courtesy of Frollo Baggins. Frollo, not to be confused with Frodo Baggins. That's a different guy. But yeah, Metalwork Colossus. This was literally the last card that was printed in standard that kind of tempted me to play standard. I was fortunate enough to not fall into the trap and I did not buy into standard cards, so that was very smart on my part. But I still thought this card was super, super sweet. Unsubscribing at the moment, I had to buy a new car and got rid of my Fender custom shop. Oh man, that's brutal. Having to buy instruments is rough. Somewhere between the two, I haven't run this through a league well, but I had a few 5-0s in Philly leagues before they switched. Oh, nice. Okay, so we got Metalwork Colossus. The way this card works is any non-creature artifact that you have in play makes it a little bit cheaper. Okay, equal to its mana cost. So obviously, most of our deck is going to be artifacts that are non-creatures that actually make the Colossus a little bit cheaper. The only creatures that we're playing are going to be this three. Okay, couple of Trap Trollers, which is going to enable all of our loops, and one Arcbound Ravager, just because it's a free sacrifice outlet. I assume that it's also a potential win condition, but that has to be extremely rare. So yeah, so it's not, this guy is not meant to attack. But Scrap Troller is going to be there to enable all the loops, right? Then we have a couple of cards that make all of our stuff cheaper. Semblance Anvil. You pitch, you imprint an artifact to this, and then all of your artifacts become a little bit cheaper by 2. By a little bit, I mean by exactly 2. And then we have access to Cloud Key, which when it enters the battlefield, we're going to choose artifact 100% of the time. And then Cloud Key is going to make artifacts cost 1 less. So if you might have noticed that Semblance Anvil, when it comes to Metalwork Colossus, it actually counts twice, okay? So it's going to be 3 cheaper because of the Colossus's ability, and then it's going to be 2 cheaper because of the Anvil ability, and 1 cheaper because of the Cloud Key ability. So these cards are actually going to be quite important at making sure that all of our loops get enabled. Then what we have is we have some eggs. For those of you that remember the eggs decks that got banned, the idea was to draw a bunch of cards, right? All of these are 2 mana artifacts that just sit in play, but when they come into play, they draw a card. So very similar to what the way the KCI worked in the past. Actually, I just realized that I need to update the stream info. Place Metalworks. All right, so Alchemist Vial, Elsewhere Flask, and Ichor Wellspring. Basically, all they're there for is to be sitting in play and to draw, to cantrip, basically to draw a card. So we can loop those with Scrap Trawler. Mind Stone is there as extra mana, also makes Colossus cheaper, and it also ramps us for other stuff, like to cast out other dudes. Conjurer's Bubble is also one card that might allow us to draw our entire deck once we have established one of the Scrap Troller loops. Ancient Searings to help with consistency, obviously. And then we have just Basic Forests. This is a mono green deck, obviously. The Grove of the Burning Willows is there only for value, right? For anti-death shadow value, because this deck doesn't really win by, attacking. When we win is because we go infinite, right? So the life is 100% irrelevant, and there is a potential value of messing up some shadow draws or buying time against shadow. For a couple of Inventor's Fair, which allow us to get any of the missing pieces that we're doing, either a kill condition. Mortar Pro, by the way, can loop with Scrap Troller to deal infinite damage. We can also deck them with Grinding Station. Grinding Station also counts as a sacrifice outlet, which is nice. And yeah, those are our 2 win conditions: infinite damage or infinite mills. Then we have inventor spells to go and get any part of the core of the deck that we're missing. Phyrexia Core, which is a sacrifice outlet that does not get affected by Stony Silence or Collector Oof, which is pretty important to get some loops going. And then Sanctum of Ugin, which allow us to chain Metalwork Colossus. So when you find the first one, you can actually find the second one. And some of the loops require you to have one Metalwork Colossus in play while you have another Metalwork Colossus in the graveyard. So yeah, so here is actually a quick little Frollo, do you think it's okay for me to share the little like guide that you gave me with like the basic loops? Maybe we can share it here on stream so people can check it out and they can follow along. All right, sweet. So we're gonna share. All right, so here is the little guide that explains how the combos work. Okay, so we have a same as with KCI, we have a couple of loops with that go infinite. So if we have Anvil with obviously with an artifact printed, right? Metalwork Colossus, Scrap Troller, and Alchemist Vial, and a Metalwork Colossus in the graveyard. Then we, with the Colossus in the graveyard, we sack the Colossus and we sack the Vial. This makes it so we draw a card, and then we have some triggers going on. It doesn't make it so we draw a card, sorry. So it makes it so Colossus goes to the graveyard, and then that makes it so you can go get back the Alchemist Vial. And if you have like a bubble, for example, you can draw your entire deck. If with the Colossus dying, you get the other Colossus goes back to hand because of its ability, right? And then with the Colossus trigger, you can get back the Vial or a 2 mana something. Everything is going to be 2 cheaper, so you're going to get to draw your entire deck, which is pretty nice. And if you have Mortar Pod, like once you finally find Mortar Pod, you can sacrifice the Mortar Pod and then keep doing the same loop, sacrificing the Colossus in Colossus in play to get the Colossus in the graveyard. And you can sacrifice Mortar Pod and replay it, then sack the dude, ping them for 1, and then all that kind of stuff. Actually, this is going to be... I kind of understand how all the loops work. It's only a matter of probably like the mechanics are going to be a little bit rough, so I really hope that my opponents concede. All right, so with only one Colossus, what we need is Colossus in the graveyard, one sack outlet. It can be Ravager or Grinding Station, and then again Semblance Anvil in play, which is going to make all of our stuff 2 cheaper, and a Scrap Troller. Then we sack all of them. Obviously, it's assuming that the Colossus is cost 0, right? Isn't this like Violent Pioneer in some form? Maybe. I mean, there's no Grinding Station and there's no Mortar Pod in Pioneer, right? What if they surgical the Colossus? You sacrifice 2 artifacts to bring it back in response. We cannot beat Amor Ego. So there's that. Veil of Summer is the way that we beat Amor Ego, right? That's literally all that we got. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh, that was explaining the next loop. So we have Anvil in play, we have a Troller in play, we have a Sack Outlet in play, and then we have Alchemist's Bile. It comes into play, draws a card, and conjures Bubble. And then we have this in the graveyard. You activate Colossus from the graveyard by sacking this too. This is gonna trigger getting the Bubble, and get a Troller trigger from by the Constructor's Bubble, cast Colossus, sacrifice it to the sack outlet. So it's again in the yard. Excuse me. And then we rinse and repeat. Because the Colossus sacking, dying, brings us back the Alchemist Vial. So we play the Vial again, we sack it to the sack outlet, get back Bubble, and then we do both. Oh man, that was... I have a... one of the peanut is stuck. Anyway, Cloud key loop. Less common, but sometimes it happens. Same as loop as evolve, but we're using cloud key instead of vial. But we're getting extra mana by tapping the Mind Stone. This gives us the 2 mana that we need in order to cast the where is it? The Alchemist Vial. Or I guess that all of these can also be achieved with Ichor Wellspring. So that's also nice. All right. I'm gonna leave this over here on the side handy because we might be needing it in the future. And we're gonna just go ahead and fire up a league. Whoops, I didn't reset my record. Oof, silly me. Silly me. I was not showing off or anything. Each loop can use any artifacts. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I can see myself timing out with this deck. I don't discard the possibility of timing out with this deck. But this sure is something. This sure is something. You can try to make this lazy deck play 4 Mendic Penrant. Painter Servants and 4 Veil of Summers. Nice. That's pretty hot. Alright, our first victim in Genxim. Deck name, by the way. Oh, you're right. I assume that if this hand had a second land, we would snap keep it. But as is, I probably have to ship it. Wow, that rhymed. I didn't even try. Hmm. This deck needs more amulet. Thank you, SwiftJ15 for the follow. This one looks like a keep, so I'm gonna keep it. Cloud Key. So next turn we're gonna be able to Mind Stone, and the following turn we're gonna get able to Cloud Key plus Vial. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost 3 Colossuses. Colossuses is definitely Uro useless in Amulet. It's not useless, it's just not particularly great. I guess we're not the only ones memeing around, huh? Are we gonna die here? We're probably gonna die here. Yep. Yep. Oh man. Yeah, Colossus beatdown is also a win condition. Well, that's hilarious. I'm actually kind of happy that that happened. We've been completely out meme. Yep, it happened for sure. Their deck gets this god hand maybe once every 1,000 matches. It's just not normal. Yeah. I've played against this deck already in the past, and it's not very good. So I think Milestone and Bubble are the more common cuts. Is that correct, Frollo? This is the kind of like where you start because they are the least necessary parts of your engine. I guess my opponent could be playing Sorin Slivers is awesome. 100% versus Burn and Amulet Titan. Yeah. Okay, so let's actually do this because they might. Like I'm suspecting maybe collect roof or something, but they also might have rest in peace or something like that. So I'm gonna hedge a little bit with a couple of beast withins. Do you think Uro is good in this deck? Probably not. I'm gonna test it though. Just Uro in everything. Uro in everything. Um, this hand looks like it could be legit, right? I imagine it's either Wellspring or second Colossus. I think we actually need Wellspring here because we're pretty far from casting this Colossus here. We were actually looking for one of the 3-drops, the 3-drops that make things easier for us. So it's kind of a beating that we didn't find any right there. Also, my opponent's mana base is just hilarious. Man, if we find an anvil, we get to kind of go off here. No anvil, never lucky. I'm gonna play the vial here because it's potentially some cheap and bad interaction. Ah, one below. All right, what are we missing here? We're not missing anything, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My buddy gonna have the nuts again. Oh, they don't have haste. Nice. All right. So we play Anvil, Pitching, Elsewhere, Flask. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. So we're playing 3 Colossuses here. And we're missing a Scrap Trawler. At least we have a 10-10 to block. But I think we're going for that, if I'm not mistaken. And I guess we pitch the Elsewhere Flask. So I can sack this. Yeah, I don't think I should do anything here. Also, I should have kept the forest open. We're getting super punished here. That was a pretty bad punt. Yeah, my inexperience with the deck is really showing here. In terms of my sequencing and how I'm But this is why we do it, right? This is why I'm streaming here, so everybody can learn from my mistakes. Oh man! Flying haste. How does the Colossus not have reach? Right? Look at how high he is. Look, birds are flying around him, but he doesn't have reach. Wow, this didn't attack? Crazy. 6. So this is not lethal, so I think we just let it go, right? Just take it. Rubber of the Reach has more reach than Tide. I mean, but it's in the name, right? It's Rubber of their Reach, right? Right. So, oh man. Oh wait. We have Sanctum. Sick. All right. So we play Sanctum. We float mana. We cast Colossus. Yes. We find Trawler. Now I guess we sack Colossus. And we mill my opponent, sacking this guy. Because we need this to be in the graveyard. Yes, untap it. Play Trawler. Alright. So now... Yeah, I think we got it here. I think we got it. I just want to make sure that I don't mess up the sequencing. So, we're going to activate this, sacrificing Colossus and equal Wellspring, right? Then we get some triggers. This is the Trawler, which draws. We draw a card, and now we're going to get the Colossus back in hand. Alright, sweet. Sure. Then we play this. We're going to draw a card. Sanctum. Okay, so now we cast Colossus. Now we... Am I missing something here? So, because I kind of want to mill them. So, how do I mill them to establish a loop? Call the Gatewatch. Nice. Just look for a bit to draw some cards. Like, what is my missing piece here? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Gonna draw. We get back Colossus. All right. Always, yes. Always. I guess I'm not gonna always use. Always yield. So we're gonna cast this. Then we're gonna cast. Oh, Mortar Pot. This is a kill, right? All right. So sack this guy. Kill. Now we play Colossus. We sack to this guy here and here. Yes. All right, sweet. Then we play this. Yeah, okay, so now this loop is way easier. Ping. Cast this. All right. Sack here and here. Yes. Cast this. All right, sweet. We got there, chat. We got there. But I still want to get familiar with the grinding station loop. So what am I missing in order to get the full grinding station loop going? Like, because I feel like each time I'm getting a little bit lower on. Oh, I need a 1-drop, right? Because that 1-drop allows me for the extra thing. Okay, so I guess that's correct. So that's what I'm missing. Okay, so any 1-drop allows me for the full loop here. So play this. Play this. Activate this. Well, I guess at this point I'm just gonna go for the mortar pod loop. It's just faster to do. Cast this. Cast this. Steerings. Bubble. Sweet. All right. So play this. Might as well play this for value. Name artifact. And now we cast this. Oh yeah, look at this, baby. So we first want to activate Grinding Station, target them, sacrificing Bubble. Then we Metalwork Colossus, getting both of this. Now we get, sure, the Mortar Pod. Alright, sweet. So now we play the Bubble. Grinding Station them, sacking the Bubble. Play this. Then this also gives you more information about their deck, which is pretty nice. Then Colossus, boom, boom. Sure. Play this. Grinding Station. Sack this. Play this. They're also letting me see their entire deck. Ping you. Sack this and this. Order pod and Bubble. Sweet. This guy comes back. Grinding Station. Alright, I'm getting a little bit of a hang of it. I'm getting a little bit of a hang of it for sure. So that's nice. This and this. And now we don't draw cards, so we don't run into the problem of potentially milling ourselves. Why is my opponent not conceding? Like, I'm already, I get it. What's his? This. Okay, so where is it? Station, there, Bubble. Right. This. God damn it. Opponent, can you please concede? 1, 2. If you're playing a match of Magic Online, just like concede when your opponent has established a loop like this. Just concede, you know. You're wasting both persons' time, you know. Station. I can't imagine my opponent just cybering into the one of Emrakul, you know. And the station, you. Boom, boom. this, this. Yeah, sorry if I'm not very active in chat. I'm just, my opponent's making me go through it, so. Just trying to get it done. What's the name of Emrakul? Last card I mill is Emrakul. Still, it's kind of nice because I'm like getting, you know, familiar with the actual loops. All right, now we get to see my opponent's entire deck. Let's see what they did. So they have Call the Gatewatch, Sliver Legion, Illidan Skull, Once Upon a Time. Alright, so this deck literally cannot beat Biting Needle or Variation Revoker on Sorin, right? It's just that's just not a thing that's realistic that my opponent can beat, which is hilarious. Torpor doesn't do anything, unfortunately for us. Do I want to? They didn't sideboard in any hate, so I don't know what kind of hate they might have. I wonder if I should bring in just Dismembers. Alright, anything that will change? I don't think so. Maybe Dismember, maybe Nature's Claim, but I just don't know. So my opponent did not sideboard for the game too, so I think we're just gonna go with the same. But we can play around path very easily, right? With any of our sack outlets. Man, this hand looks super close. This hand looks super close. But we're lucky in a land. This one's better. And I think we bottom the Colossus. Yeah, I was thinking at Plains because of Rest in Peace and Leyline of Sanctity. Yeah, we can beat that. Thanks to be Sweden. Alright. What do we like here? Probably Icor Wellspring. We don't really need the mana, so I guess we just need the cards and we need the artifacts in play. So I'd rather get the Wellspring here. Gives me more options. Basic Swamp. Alright, we're not looking bad here. Next turn we're going to be able to play Cloud Key, because I'm trying to delay the Semblance Anvil because I don't know what I'm going to be pitching to it yet. Cloud Shredder Sliver. I mean, if they again find the Sorin here, triple Once Upon a Time, that's hilarious. Alright, so they're just missing a Sorin. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7. What if I do 5, 5, pitch this? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 1 off? Oh, man. We're 1 off of casting the Colossus this turn. Alright, because of that, I'm going to play the Cloud Key here. Because it doesn't cost me a second card, and it's better against something that will destroy my creature. Wow, my opponent just always has it. Okay. Alright, so this is 8. Should I draw here is the question. I think I do. So we anvil here. Oops, paid 1 too many. Pitch in Cloud Key. Play Grindy Station. Wait, do we have a win here? Because I can go get Scrap Roller. No, we don't because of the ley line, I guess. Can we go infinite? We sack this. I guess I need a target for this. Yeah, I think I have a loop. I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. Self-mill. But if I self-mill and I mill the beast within, then I can't get it back, right? And I also don't have the mana to cast the beast within. Not this turn. I can kill the Sliver. So we get a Scrap Trawler here. Can draw Mind Stones. So we get Scrap Trawler here, right? Then we cast the Trawler for free, I guess, because we have Key and Anvil. Just save a green. We save a green. Okay. Thank you, Lolob93, for the follow. Just wipe their board. Okay. But I need to mill myself in order to do that, right? Always yield. So we play Mortar Pod. Now always yield. And play Scrap Trawler. Now I sack to mill myself. And I sack the Colossus, right? We get the bubble back. We draw Colossus. Alright, so now we play the bubble. We untap. And now I mill myself with the bubble, right? Because this gets me closer to the Colossus. Nice, second Colossus, sweet. So now I guess I ping first, Sorin. Then we Colossus, the Mortar Pod, and the Wellspring. Bubble comes up, and then We draw a card, another trawler. Tap, cast. All right, and now we actually go infinite. So we get back Colossus second, this, and this. Colossus second, this, and this. Oh, which one is which? Oh man, this is a nightmare. All right, so this is from the Colossus. No, this is not from the Colossus 9. This is. We're getting back Scrap Trawler here. Then we're getting back. I don't even know. Wellspring. Then here we're getting Mortar Pod. And we're getting Ravager. Oh man, that's so many triggers. All right, Mortar Pod. Yes. Yes. Scrap Trawler. Yes. This. Yes. Draw a card. Another Wellspring. Yes. Yes. I think I'm just gonna beat them down, right? I think I should just beat them down. Alright, another Colossus. So I just Mortar Pod this guy. Sack this and this. Mortar Pod. And Bubble. Play Bubble. Yes. Play Mortar Pod. Yes. Play Colossus. Yes. Man, this is stressful. God damn it. 1, 2. Play this. Yes. Mill Self. Yes. Oh man. Well, I sack here. Get back. Anvil. Sure, whatever. Sack 2 artifacts. Another Colossus and Wellspring. My opponent's trying to time me out here. Mortar Pod. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to play all this stuff for free. I think I'm just going to play my dudes. Yes. I'm just going to kill their stuff. And I'm just going to put a bunch of dudes in play. Nope, I misclicked. Damn it. This, and Metalwork Plus. Mortar Pod. Play Pod. Play Key. Artifact. Play Colossus. Yes. Yes. Pin here. Always just ping. Activate. Sack this too. Oh man. This is really annoying. Activate, sack these two. Ping. Activate, sack these two. Pod. Ping there. Sack. Activate, sack these two. Play this. Play this. Play this. Print nothing. Sack this and this. Cast this. Cast this. Pass the turn. Well, is my opponent gonna go with the classic? Alright, at least they don't go with the classic, you know, just I'm dead on board, but I'm still like not showing you. Alright, that was fun. That was fun. I'd be kind of salty honestly losing with 30 minutes on clock and opponent in no time. Yeah, exactly. Except like all of it was all of it was my opponent being dead on board for multiple minutes and then just not conceding for whatever reason after I had already established a loop. We got there though. We got there. What I'm sensing there though is that smells a little bit like salt, you know? All right. We got a steering, so I think when we have a steerings we keep. And in the abstract, I guess it's strictly correct for us to go with Grove on turn 1. All right, we got a Semblance Anvil there. Sweet. It's the best kind of smell. Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, you're playing for fun, right? Like, if you're playing that deck, the stupid Sorin deck, right? You're not playing... Like, you're not playing competitively, right? So, like, what's the point in not conceding? I just don't understand. Like, don't you want to just, like, finish, be done with that game and, like, move on and have fun on playing the next game? Kind of makes no sense to me. Alright, so... we can speed out our entire hand, but oh man, like, we're playing against John, and if they have K command, then we're actually in a rough spot. So I think I'm just gonna play out the Cloud Key. Now I'm not gonna keep on giving them life, right? In the blind, it was good to do it, but no. Yeah, so we just, like, play this out and see what's up, you know? Inquisition. Okay. Probably the correct thing to take is the Core Wellspring here. Gives me potentially 2 cards instead of just the 1. Man, this deck sure is something else though, huh? This is why I didn't play land. We were drawing towards Inventor Sphere. Now I'm gonna play the land. And I guess I should draw a card here. Do I want to put Grinding Station on the bottom? I mean, I think I do. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I have one more than I need. Yeah, I think I just put them on the bottom. All right, bad beats. Next turn we can play 2 Colossus. Colossi? Colossuses? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I just get another Colossus, right? How does my opponent beat 2 Tentans that come back? Right? How do they beat 2 Tentans? Seems not easy for them to achieve. And if any of these die, I get to draw 2. I get to draw 2 and keep going. Oh, Assassin's Trophy? I guess that's how they beat it. Not, they don't. Another trophy? Bold Face. Okay. Well, I guess if they have Liliana minus plus Bold, or another trophy plus Bold, they don't have Bold, clearly, because... Okay. Down to 3. But they're tapped out, though. Can we establish a loop here? Oh, I should have sacrificed. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I should have a Colossus in my hand. That's pretty bad. That was pretty bad, actually. All right. So we're gonna draw 2, I guess. Those are not good draws, though. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. So here, I guess it's free to play Anvil, because we can pitch the other Anvil, and then we can get to draw some cards. Man. So this draws, and I guess we're pitching the Flask. Wow, I'm so unlucky. How can anybody be this unlucky? All right. We don't die to Bolt because we can sack an artifact to gain life. We would die to double Bolt, though. We die to Bolt plus K command. Yeah, that's why I sack the Flask instead of sacking the Vial, because this can stop an attacker if my opponent answers both dudes. I'm drawing for my turn. I'm planning on doing that end step, but I don't know where I need to play around yet, right? So I can do this end step. Cycle Barrymore. Sure, you get one of my Groves with the Royals. The one with the ugly art. I'm gonna give you the Grove with the ugly art. Fatal push against my 11 casting cost dudes. I think I cycle here, right? Flask. Mortar pot. Oh man, I can force a chump, and then I can give. Oh, this is amazing. Check this out. Pseudo vigilance, baby. Pseudo vigilance, because I can sack my dude. And oh, they have cake man. So destroy artifact, 2 damage to any target. Okay. So we're gonna sacrifice here to gain 1 life. Yeah. Goifo down. Then we sack to ping Liliana so they can't minus on us. And then we sack this and this. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we're good. These two. Get back Colossus. Recast Colossus. For value, we're going to equip Colossus over there. I guess it's more of a matter that if they plus, this is just better for me. And what if they have like push my mortar pod, right? If they have something like push your mortar pod and then minus Liliana, they actually get value, while otherwise they are not, right? So I think that pinging Liliana is just better than holding up the mortar pod there. Especially my opponent showed me that they discarded 1 push, so it's not unlikely that they might have another one. Alright, so we want Veils. We want Dismembers. I feel like I also want Beast Withins, actually, because we're looking at Scavenging Ooze and Collector Oof as threats that I just cannot beat. I just cannot win the game while those creatures are in play. Well, I guess that one of the loops actually works through Oof. Let me go check it out real quick. So I guess it's the first loop. Yeah, because we can still activate the Colossus from the graveyard. So if we have Anvil, Colossus, second Colossus, and Trawler and Vial in play, then we can actually win anyway. But we are gonna need to have one of the Phyrexia score in play, because this would act as our sack outlet to get everything done, everything going, unless they naturally kill our Colossus. Oh, huh. Yeah, I guess that this gives the ability to the creature. Good to know. Okay, so this gives the ability to the creature, so Oof doesn't stop the mortar pot. Nice, interesting, good to know. How do we cyber here, Frollo? You're gonna have to help me out here. I feel like we do want these cards. This seems like too much, though. Maybe I just can't afford to play Veil. Or I just don't do this, and I cyber like so. This is still 3 cards that I need to cut, though. I think that the flasks are actually important. Still cut Mindstone. So all 4 of them cut. Alright, so I just cut all the Mind Stones. I guess a ley line is also a possibility. Yeah, maybe I should have. Maybe Beast Within was reasonable. So this is a hand against John. I feel like we have to keep it, right? We're basically cantripping and stuff. Discard spell turn 1. Probably gonna get the Cloud Key. Yeah, the gem that the Mortarboard gets, it's actually good. All right, Wellspring's not bad. Even if they blow it up, I get value, so that's nice. Scoos, Goif. Locker. Liliana here is gonna be really hard to beat, though. Yeah. Guess I pitched the land instead. Croxa? Oh my god. Whoa. Oof. Well, that Croxa card. It's pretty good right here. I'm still in a 2-turn clock probably here. So I think I pitched the Mortar Pot. Because it gives me a blocker that my opponent can easily play through it. Alright, that's a land that doesn't get me anywhere. So I guess we start here. Guess we don't target anything. Wellspring. I don't think I can afford to Anvil, unfortunately, here. Ah, man. We're 1 minute short of surviving. Oh, that feels bad. We drew the Anvil just way too late. Well, if wait a second. They didn't get back Croxa. If we get a Colossus here, never lucky. Never lucky. Colossus? Grinding Station. Well, I guess that we can still draw. Okay, yeah. So we're still not dead here. All right, so we can mill ourselves with this trigger on the stack with Ichor Wellspring, which draws us a card. Okay. Now we untap. Now we do the same thing. Milling Wellspring. Another Sanctum. Mill 3? Jeez. Just never finding a Colossus, are we? Colossus one time? Okay. No, I didn't need to play Anvil, right? Because I get Colossus now. And I have 2 Sanctum triggers. One of them finds Ravager or whatever, and the other one finds the other guy. And then I can play Anvil pitching something. And then I can play the Troller for free. I can play Colossus. I can sack Colossus to Grinding Station. Mill myself, hopefully find another Colossus. Anvil there was lethal. Francisco, why wouldn't he play the best combination deck in the format? Because Anvil is not a combo deck, that's why. Alright, so... Am I crazy here? Am I crazy, or do I think I have an out here? So we find Scrap Trawler, and then the second Sanctum finds something else. I guess the Ravager. What do I want to pitch to the... They conceded. Wow. I think I was going to get the Ravager. Okay, let me analyze this right here. So we get the Ravager. I play Anvil using this one... Oh, no, I can't, actually. Oh, that's what you guys were saying. Okay, that's what you guys were saying. Okay, gotcha. I thought that this was cutting me by 2, but it was only cutting me by 1. Alright, we got there anyway. Somehow 2-0. Even if I punted that game. Wow. That's wild. That's wild that we got there. I assumed the John matchup was going to be miserable for us, but I guess that free 10-10s are pretty John for... pretty rough for John to come back from, right? Alright, we're playing against Baco. We have to ship this. So we're probably playing against Storm. We keep this and got a bottom a Grove, I think. Storm is a bad matchup. Yeah, it seems like just by definition the matchup should be horrendous for us, right? They have stuff like a Braid, they have stuff like Remand. This deck is capable of turn 3s, right? Where's the amulet? Alright. We can play the Cloud Key into Vial. We don't really have any interaction, do we? Can we draw into anything? Where's the green cards? We're playing 4 Ancient Steerings, Richen. So I got you covered, don't worry about it. We're playing green. Of course we're playing green. Draw cards, looking for Anvil. Yeah, that seems like a move. Alright, so we're dead if my opponent has it. We're dead if they have it, but if we get another turn, maybe we're able to piece something together here. Ah, one too late. Alright, Baco, do you have it or not? Not playing the one true artifact. Yeah. Considering he kept 7, I would assume that they have it. Pieces of the Paso main deck? Huh. Well, that's a gift. So I guess that this is deterministic if they have any ritual. Any ritual and they're good to go. All right. We get one more turn. Pieces of the puzzle opt. So we have to draw here with the flask, right? We have enough to get a Colossus. Zombie Hunt. Man, that's been a minute since that one was a deck. Godspeed to your treasure hunts. I don't think there's anything that we can do, right? We don't have Anvil in play. Also, my opponent probably has Remand. And we actually don't have Lethal. I think I'm going to play a Flask. And then this is just very hopeful thinking that I'm going to get a next turn. Hey, yo. We can't go infinite here, though, right? Play Anvil, we pitch Colossus. We get Trawler, and we don't do anything. So I think we just cast this, and then end of turn, we're going to Inventor's Fair. We're probably going to die on my opponent's next. But I think we're just dead. Like, my opponent has Gifts and Passing Flame in hand, which I think it's actually a deterministic kill. My opponent says, I read all the cards, I figure the combo, but I don't understand. Gonna say, me neither. Yeah, Bacon's not gonna mess it up. This guy literally just plays Storm and nothing else, so. Oh, that's funny, that's really funny. Alright, Dismember. What else? I don't think I want Defense Grid, but I do want Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer good against Remand, and also it counters Gifts and Given. Cage, good. Good stuff, good stuff. What do we take out? I wonder if they're Brazilian with that hand. I think they are Spanish, but don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. Brazil. Yeah, they're from Brazil. Beleza. Winged Hussar MTG, thank you for the follow. Trim a couple of Cloud Keys. We're unlikely to win with one of those draws. Okay. So we shave some Cloud Keys. And Bako sends hugs for everybody, and he says that, you know, incorrectly, he says that Pelé is better than Maradona, which is just a lie, just a blatant lie, and I don't like lying to my chat. So that's actually a lie. I love lying to my chat. So how do you feel about bringing steerings when trimming 5 cards? I think that it's the same though. Romario says unfollow. Shut up, Romario. This is a Maradona loving stream, not a Pele loving stream, okay? I think that we still need to keep steerings in the deck because Semblance Anvil is just so important for us. Maradona is much better at taking drugs. That's a fact. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, this is the donation list that we're playing today. Ronaldo is better than Maradona, not starting an argument. Wow. You're going real deep there, Terror. You're going real deep there. Do we keep this? I think I'm gonna keep it. I like to leave dangerously, you know? Gonna bubble on one because I kind of want to draw. Next turn we can Mind Stone into Cage. Okay. I'm not gonna play around the turn 2 kill, so I'm just gonna do this. Messy though. Messy's the goat. That's debatable. That is debatable. Debatable. That's how you pronounce that word. Debatable. I think we Colossus here, and then we Dismember. Ugh, they had another one? Feels bad, man. Second dude. Wait, do we have a kill here? So, 1, 2, 3. We can play multiple Colossi here. I don't think we have a kill, do we? Name artifact. Play this. Wait, we might actually have a kill. No, we don't have Anvil. No, we don't have a kill. We don't have a kill. Feels bad, man. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Should I play this guy? Because I kind of want this to be in play. And what I could do is I could play one Colossus, sack only one of the Sanctums. But I feel like I need the mana for next turn. The Argentina football team always play well against German team. Get out of here, George. We don't talk about Germany football in this stream. Yeah, so I think we just pass. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna pass. Me having a Dismember draw with my opponent having a triple Dork draw definitely did not line up in my favor. Wow, they kind of whiffed there. They did find Repeal though. So they do have some interaction here. Repeal the Cage. I mean, if I could sack this Cage, I think I would. I can't though. Just to deny them the draw. So far, this is not deterministic though. They need the gifts. Alright. Rub our hands together. I think that's still not deterministic. Now it probably is deterministic. Damn it. Yeah, now it actually is deterministic because they have double dork. Alright. We did. We did. Then finding the repeal there. Yeah, this is just deterministic. GG's. Feels bad, man. We have multiple pieces of interaction, but the way that their hand just lined up against ours is kind of a beating. Lost hard to Mexico last World Cup. Now I know what it feels to be a USA supporter. Wow. Wow. The beats. The beats are real. That's just savage. That is just savage. Also, I just want to say that this deck is sweet. I'm having a really good time right now. I'm having a very, very good time. And I'm pretty sure that if I were playing a little bit, better, if I were a little bit more familiar with the deck, we would be playing better. So we're still somehow doing we're 2-1 right now, which is wild. Playing against the body bag. So I'm pretty sure this is a mulligan. What do you say, Frollo? We do have a couple of redraws, which is nice. This in KCI, it kind of feels similar to KCI, but it's not really that similar. So Harrison will chance some gifts me a month of description to Fran's awesome channel. That would be great. Wouldn't that be great? Les, wouldn't that be great? All right, I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit. Maybe before we get paired against blue white or something. Wow, that's actually true. I have not played against blue white in a really, really, really long time. But that's kind of hot, actually. Again, we're gonna go infinite, so it's strictly correct for us to go for the grove here. Ooh. Options. I like options. Hola Darwin, estoy jugando una Donation League. We get Cloud Key here, right? Or do we get the Colossus? I kind of want to get the Colossus. My opponent's playing the Verdant Catacombs deck, so I guess that I want the Colossus, unless they're on Druid, basically. If they're on Druid, I get really punished by this. But if they don't, I feel like I want to have like access to a Colossus in hand. They're totally playing Druid, yeah? They're totally playing Druid. Feels bad, man. Alright. Probably gonna die here. Blue Eye has become Ban Stumblade. Yeah, but I have not been playing against Ban Stumblade in a really long time either. I think it's actually one of the best decks I think it's low-key one of the best decks in the format, personally. I think that it has tools against literally everything. And good tools against literally everything. So this is probably a turn 4 here. Just probably gonna be too slow. Alright, Coco. Heliod Birds. Alright. We get to survive. This is 2 plus 4, that's 6, 7. Do you think Ban Stumblade can be better than Amulet? I don't think really there's anything that can be better than Amulet right now, if I'm honest with you. But I think the Advanced Stone Blade is actually really, really good right now. Four, five, six, seven. So next turn, maybe we can do some damage. I was playing 2 Leagues of Mill like 2 weeks ago. Gross. Alright, so they have infinite life. But we can beat that. You have infinite life. Don't worry about it. You don't need to do this. I am going to play as if you have infinite life. Save us both time. Maybe, like, I mean, you can close chat now, so maybe they just have chat closed so they don't see my chat. Which is kind of sad, because, like, that's the whole point is that I want to save time, right? Like, I literally can't beat infinite life, so I'm not trying to be a douchebag to my opponent. Like, I literally can't beat infinite life, so. Alright. Yeah, I just milled him. Exactly. Hope he stops at 69. Yeah, that was a missed opportunity right there. That was definitely a missed opportunity. Um, so we only have a cloud key. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so I guess that we start with a vial here, because we need to draw. I confirm to be a mill player. That's such a mean thing to say to somebody. All right. Do we have a loop now? I don't think we do. We would need either a Mind Stone or an Anvil here. We, however, can try to draw into something. Oh, no Anvil. Anvil would have been game there, by the way. Anvil would have been game there. Play Ravager. Yeah, if we have to win with Mortar Pod, we first kill the Spike Feeder. Like, we just clear their board after they have gone to like a Basilion life, and then we just deal them a Basilion and 1, right? So even there, we're still fine. Even Mortar Pod is still a kill because Mortar Pod actually can kill dudes. Yeah, I think we can't do anything here, so we're just going to play the Trawler and just pass the turn. I could have played Ravager, because Ravager would allow us to sack the Wellspring. If they have a Ballista here, I'm going to concede to the Ballista. Which seems like they do. Oh. Well, okay. So now they have infinite mana, but they're still missing a win condition. They have multiple win cons that they can use here. Ranger Captain is one of them. Okay, cool. Because this gets Walking Ballista, and they have infinite mana. So yeah, this is good. Just gonna make them show me the Ballista. Walking Ballista, cool. All right. Is this deck good? I mean, it's definitely better than what I'm playing it, right? Because I am not very good at it yet. I'm just not that experienced. Yeah, the company deck is probably like tier 1.5 / tier 2, and this one is probably like tier 4. But I mean, we're currently 2-1, so Cage for finale. Okay, I can see a Cage actually. Just gonna side out Beast Within's and just go with Dismember and Cage. Actually, I like Cage better than Beast Within in this matchup. Alright. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, we have nice interaction here. I'm gonna keep this. We might never draw a land, but I think it's worth the risk. Just because our hand is kind of like very well set up. If we even if we find another land, we have Wellspring, and if we find the green source, we actually have Steerings. So we actually have any land. Basic Forest would be the best land that we can find, but or I guess Grove, whatever. But any land that we draw actually gives us a solid game plan, and we have Cage to stop what they're doing and Dismember to kill their dudes. So I feel like this has to be a keep, even though it's a risky one, and I'm very aware of the risk that I'm getting into right here. Coco deck seems like a bad matchup for this deck regardless of power level. Yeah, hopefully, because like some of their tools are actually very, very good against us. I'm gonna try to, the Cage seems particularly great in the matchup. What I'm trying to say is like Cage out of this deck against this deck is gonna be much more impactful than if I were playing Grixis Control and I had Grafdigger's Cage in my sideboard. You know what I'm saying? So Cage is more impactful against this deck because this deck has more impactful cards against my deck, and they have ways of getting access to those impactful cards more reliably that get stopped by the Cage. Never didn't have it, etc, etc, etc. I'm saving up this member for the real problem cards. The real problem cards, of course, being Scavenging Ooze, Collector Roof, or just like one of the combo pieces, obviously, right? Yeah, so that guy's dead. Hit me for one. I think I'm gonna have to fetch for a land. Wow, so unlucky. Well, Mindstone represents mana at least. Isn't it mind-blowing how unlucky I am? Torpor might have been good to bring into. The thing about Torpor is like a bunch of their stuff just like these triggers, yes, but like what I'm saying is devoted, it doesn't stop devoted druid, it doesn't stop like it doesn't stop a bunch of the combos that that deck has. This is what I'm trying to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This represents 5 too. This is here. Ballista for 1. Sure. So they're on the beatdown plan over there. Land, please. This is actually great, right? So now I can anvil, pitch in the another anvil. I can play the Wellspring for free, and then I can Colossus. So anvil for anvil, Wellspring for free, Mortar Pod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Might as well play the Mortar Pod too, right? Next turn we have a win. No, we're missing a sack outlet. So the Visitor Seer combo doesn't do anything because there's a cage in play. Don't really care about the Ballista because Devoted Druid's fine. However, if they go to put a counter on the Ballista, I probably just ping it with the Germ. I mean, there's no need for me to do anything yet, right? With the Ballista. That's a Dismember. Does that change anything? What's the combo in this deck? We actually have a file that you can use to check it out. There you go. Metalworks. There we go. So I'm tanking here because I don't know whether I should dismember this or not. I think I'm not going to. Because the gauge is kind of protecting me here. I could also swing for 10. Yeah, actually that doesn't sound bad. Let's get in there, Colossus. My opponent's on a 2-turn clock. Hell yeah, we got a creature out of the deal. Sounds good to me. Put a card on the bottom. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna need to kill Scavenging Ooze, so I'm holding on to this Dismember. Also, Ranger Captain, now that I'm noticing, Ranger Captain stops my combo. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna kill the Ranger Captain here. I hadn't noticed that it actually stops my combo. Look at Inventor's Fairs, just doing some work. More like Inventor's Unfair, right? All right. Colossus getting there. Also, my opponent keeps chump blocking, which means that they are never gonna be able to have like Ballista priority. Like they need to naturally find. Oh wow. I can sack to mortar board, and I can actually sack to kill this. Oh yeah, we're definitely doing it. My opponent kept on top. My opponent kept on top, so let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. I like that a lot. So we're gonna ping on Devoted Druid. Then gonna equip Mortar Pod to Metalworks Colossus. Put a counter there, sure, whatever. If they want to trade in my Scrap Trawler, I'm into it. They kept on top. Opponent, you kept on top already. Like, what are you doing? All right, so now we do this, and we sack this and this. This is just like value, right? We're just getting just good value. Elsewhere Flask again. Cast Colossus. We can go get a Ravager. Right? Play Ravager. Sack Colossus to Ravager. Get back. Wellspring. Whoops. Cast Wellspring. Draw another card. Is this actually a loop? This is not a loop yet, right? With second Trawler, is this a loop? It is a loop now, right? I can draw my entire deck. I think now we have finally, yeah, we have finally achieved the loop here. Now we're gonna get to draw our entire deck. Paolo Theodoro, thank you for the follow. Get to draw some cards. Colossus gets back. We play this. Play this. Play this. Sack Colossus to Ravager. Get back Braille Spring. Get back Mortar Pod. Sweet. Play Wellspring, draw a card. Thank you, Piccolo, for the follow as well. Leaving a weapon. We have successfully established a loop, opponent. In case you hadn't noticed. Boom, boom. 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 Ravager, Sack Colossus. Mortar Pod, Wellspring. Second Colossus makes this even easier now. You can see it. See the writing on the wall. That was pretty hype. That was pretty freaking hype. I like that a lot. Alright, next. What now? And you see that my line of dismembering the Ranger Captain actually paid off greatly, because otherwise my opponent would have been able to sack the Ranger Captain and stop me from recasting Wellsprings and Mortar Pod. I kind of would like to have access to Beast Within, but I think that we just can't afford to, right? We already have too many cards. So Double Colossus already sounds not great for us. Opponent kept 7. We do have Anvil, Grinding Station. Yeah, okay. I think I keep this. I would definitely love to have access to some piece of interaction. Any piece of interaction kind of does it, but I would definitely like to have access to some piece of interaction here. Yeah, exactly. Because they're faster. That's why I would like to have some piece of interaction here. Also, they do have a fair amount of interaction cards that can be pretty relevant against us. Actually, I should have drawn off the bubble there before I do anything else. That was a mistake. Might get punished by it. So pay 3 to Anvil, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're 1 mana short. Gross. We can probably spin this bubble and just suck it to try to draw into a 2-drop. Moxable being banned, do you think it would be okay for Wizard Coast to unban the artifact lands? Yeah, I think so. I think the artifact lands would probably be just fine. Spike Feeder. Again, you have infinite life. I assume that my opponent must be just like a little bit too used at people not conceding to them. Yeah, I mean, the problem is probably not affinity, but it's other stuff. Yeah, exactly. There's other stuff that it's more egregious, basically. So what now? Anvil, pitching Anvil, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I have to spin this bubble here, try to find a 2-drop. Come on. What is my out? You're seeing it right here. I just mailed them out. We drew a Sanctum. So unlucky. But yeah, unless I see that I am actually dead. I think I'm actually going to pitch the second call. No, the second Colossus actually eats an out to a combo. I think I'm just going to risk it and I'm going to go for the Anvil. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ewit. Ewit is fine. Imprinted Colossus. Wait, did I mess this up again? Oh, because I can get another Colossus with the Sanctum. I'm stupid. Did I fuck this up? I did, right? How do we go infinite? Oh, we find it. We find the Troller here, right? We cast Colossus. We trigger Sanctum. Find Troller. Go from there. Should you be milling with the grinding station? So the grinding station requires you to sacrifice an artifact, and so far I have nothing that I want to sacrifice. And mill the bubble on each loop. Yeah. Yeah, infinite damage wins, but know if they deck on the draw step, like before they get to play the ballista, right? But yeah, if I didn't have a kill here, then the walking ballista, I would concede to the walking ballista, just like I did game one. Just like I did in game one. But my opponent just doesn't trust me. I guess this time they only went up to 50, so they're like, yeah, this guy's got it. Okay. Yeah, this is my third league today, so yeah, after this I'm gonna be done. I've been live for 5 hours. This deck is fun, man. I really, I'm having a lot of fun with this deck. I feel like I'm missing a lot of lines still, because I'm just not proficient with it. But it's certainly a lot of fun, and there's a lot of like, it's actually like we're about to be 3-1, right? Self-milling with grind decision took a bit to learn, but it really improves your odds to fight Colossus. Yeah, it makes sense. And I guess I'm trying to also get familiar with the mechanics in Magic Online. So at least I was like, I wasn't always yes in to the grinding station, but I guess that is actually correct, because this is just the untap ability, and you kind of always want the untap ability, I guess. So the difference is like the activate ability is the mill one, and that's the one that you want to not auto yield, obviously. But yeah, so we can even double Troller here. You think the deck with Croxa Disruption are a problem for Amulet? I mean, Jund with Croxa, I beat him multiple times. I still think it's pretty good though. I still think it's solid. Where did my opponent go? I'm sending them messages, but they're not answering back, so I'm assuming that they just have their chat off. Biggest clock saver is using Kucher's Bubble to clean up the graveyard during loops, so Moto auto targets artifacts. That's a good one to know about, for example, right there. Yeah, but I haven't, even if they're salty, like I haven't established the loop yet, right? I haven't shown them the infinite loop yet. So they have disconnected. That's unfortunate. I mean, it might be that their internet just dropped. It's just, whenever your internet drops in a situation like this, it's suspicious, It's just a little bit suspicious. Sit for coronavirus. Yeah, that is real though. I wouldn't joke about the whole coronavirus thing. It's pretty real. Okay, so once this resolves, I am going to cast Colossus for free because this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're gonna cast the Colossus for free. We're gonna sack Sanctum of Ugin, and we're gonna get a Scrap Trawler. We're gonna cast it with this mana from here. Cast the Trawler, then I am going to Grinding Station, mill myself, sacrificing the Metalwork Colossus. That is going to bring back the bubble. Also, I could just double Trawler, right? Are you editing the sound of your bots? I feel like some of the YouTube things could do with a bit of increasing volume and deezer. No, I tried editing the VODs and it was ridiculously time consuming. Like it was so much more time. I just don't have enough time to edit the VODs. It would be nice if if I made enough money off YouTube to pay somebody to edit the VOD for me. That would be great, but I just don't. So it sucks that kind of like the YouTube videos are what it is. It's funny that you say so because like it's literally the same video that I have here, right? So it should technically, if the audio is fine right now, it should also be fine when I upload the VOD to YouTube. So I don't know. Oh, thank you, Trex. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're doing a longer stream because we had the Dono stream today, so the Dono League. So yeah, so going back to the loop, we have enough mana to Colossus. We play Sanctum. We get double Scrap Trawler. We spend 2 mana to play both of those Scrap Trawlers. We Grinding Station, mill ourselves, sacrificing one of the Colossus. Colossus goes to the graveyard, and we get back Bubble plus just the Bubble, I guess, because the mill that would happen later. Then we're going to get Metalwork Colossus. With the Colossus in the yard, we're going to sacrifice Alchemist's Vial and the Colossus itself, the Colossus that I have in play, in order to get back the Vial and the Bubble. Then we're going to play the Bubble. We're going to use Grinding Station, sacrificing the Bubble to mill my opponent for 3. Then we're going to repeat this loop over and over again, and we're going to mill them for the entirety of their library. Probably the way YouTube compresses it. Well, that would really suck if that were the case. Like if I'm uploading a video with like perfectly fine audio and then YouTube just messes it up, that would really suck. So opponent disconnected. We do have lethal here, and I just explained how. It's just gonna take for my opponent to finally reconnect to join the game again, and for us to do it. Another option, honestly, is that they might have been ghosting and they know that I'm presenting the lethal kill here. So that's what tilted them off. Because that is certainly a possibility. Yep, there we go. Alright, 3-1. Hell yeah. YouTube auto compresses quite a bit. Yeah, that really sucks. Alright. Last match of the day. We'll be back tomorrow though, so don't freak out. More content always coming your way. "12 Azor," and this is like the Sphinx. Azor, the Sphinx. That's cute. Snarquencies, no, I think they just timed out. I don't think that they snapped concede. I think they just timed out. So if this were If any one of these lands were Inventor's Fair, maybe I keep this. As it is, I think I just ship it. This hand does look better though. We're gonna keep, and we're gonna bottom Flask. Flask seems like it's always the worst, the worst cycler, the worst egg. Is the next KCI-esque deck? Yeah, it's similar. Wow, lead on Grove, and we're playing against Shadow. That would be some next level shit right there. Oh yes, please. Fetch for a Watery Grave, opponent. Fetch for a Watery Grave against my almighty Grove of the Ruined Willows. Yes. Hashtag sequencing, baby. Hashtag sequencing. Wow. All right. Please turn one Shadow. Come on. I know you wanted OP. Thoughtseize. Oh, feels bad, man. Look at this value, though. It kind of sucks that my opponent kept the triple Street Wraith Thoughtseize hand, so it's going to be pretty rough to try to outrace the triple Street Wraith Thoughtseize hand, but still. But yeah, as you can see, like, this is why we're playing 4 copies of Grove, right? It's just free value in this matchup specifically. We could be playing all basics. So if you're trying to buy this deck, and these are actually, this is probably like the most expensive card in the entire deck. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so this is the most expensive card in the entire deck. So if you want to buy this deck, you can just not buy the Groves and just play 4 more basic forests. And you're probably going to be, it's the same, it's just fine. Just draw the second Grove, yeah, that would be nice. Flask is usually the worst, but it can sack itself to rebuy Bubble when you have a Stroller and no sack outlet. But this one can also sack itself. Yeah, but I guess that this costs mana. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That makes sense. Is Ravager cheap? Yeah, Ravagers in Moto, they are extremely cheap, and in paper they are also pretty cheap because they were like a GP promo, I think. So the price went down significantly. Oh no, and also Affinity is unplayable, so people just don't need Ravagers. This has been my opponent either looking for this, searching up the stream, or just like looking up the deck to see what we're trying to do. But yeah, I guess this card is like a commander staple or something, so maybe this one is actually worth money in paper. Grind Decision costs $6, $8 in paper. Yeah, it was literally the most expensive card in the deck in Moto. It was five tickets, which is pretty hilarious. So I guess I played a Mind Stone over the other alternatives. Yeah, Ravager is pretty cheap. Goiful. Flask. Well, this is kind of awkward. Land? Yeah, I played Mindstone so we could potentially double spell on this turn, and then I didn't. Oh, and I forgot to gain life. That was just a misclick. That was just a misclick. Whoops. Can you imagine opponent gets frisky and they go down to 1 and then we just mortar pot them to death? That'd be hilarious. Sure. I guess that does roll the Goif. Yeah, they're probably going to be on 4 color Shadow. Yeah, that Shadow's going to be really, really hard to race. Yeah, the Shadow matchup looks just absurdly horrendous. Too late. I need to draw, I think. It's possible that we're just dead to this. Did I just forget to? I forget to make them gain life again, didn't I? I'm just so like automated to into like clicking for the color list. I'm just, yep. I don't think we can win this game anyway. But I mean, we would be closer to winning if I hadn't misclicked twice. Maybe it'll cycle. I don't know. They're probably holding up Stubby D here, which I can't beat. Got it? Uh-huh. Okay. I guess that resolved. No Sakama in this deck? Trash. Yeah. Alright, so I can draw Colossus into Colossus. If I draw Colossus into Colossus, we might be in an okay spot. Stop the punts. I did gain them life there, right? Because they paid one for the peatland. I did gain them life right there. Opponent just needs to stop and read literally every card that we cast. Colossus? Feels bad, man. Colossus? Too late. So we're just dead, right? Yeah, we're just dead. We can't sack our artifacts. I'm just not gonna show them the mortar pod. Alright, so Bale looks pretty solid here. We're going for the long game here. I think that the line was kind of to like go mono Colossus in this matchup, to like go Colossus grind, basically. And I'm bringing in this member because of Collector Oof and the other thing, not so much for Ravager is bad. I'm cutting one Anvil over. It's probably incorrect, right? I probably have to cut even if it's a 2-for-1. I still have to cut the key because Anvil is just so much better over grinding station. Okay. So this is this what we're looking at? All right. This matchup still looks pretty rough, honestly. Just get the 10-10 scene. Yeah, that's the plan. Ugh, Veil and no green source. Feels bad, man. Green source and no Veil. Feels bad, man. Now we're gonna keep this though. We're gonna keep this and we're gonna bottom Bobble? I guess Stroller is worse than Bubble, right? I don't want to play the steerings yet because I don't know what I'm looking for. And if I find like an anvil or a cloud key or something, I don't want to. I don't want to, make my opponent be able to discard it with the turn one discard spell, right? I'm gonna stuff my Alchemist's file. I guess I want to. I think I'm pretty happy about that, right? I'm not sure, but I think I'm pretty happy about that. Choose your poison. Asian steerings. Okay. Okay. Not a bad draw. So this is basically a Mox Opal right here, as far as casting Colossus goes. So we're 3, 4, 5, 6, hopefully 7, 8. Burning Catacombs. Right, so they're missing mana. What does a professional do for a living? Do you play instruments for singers or something? I mostly play live shows. I play in a bunch of cover bands and stuff like that. So I either work for the bands or with my own band. I just, we book shows for my band and we play in those shows. It's pretty straightforward. Then I actually do a fair amount of teaching as well. So playing this Wellspring here, opponent doesn't bite. Good for them. Scrap Trawler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I want to try to get lucky? Two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can also sack this as a last resource. I don't think we need to yet. I guess I played into stub there. Man, I really need to find another land. I really need to find another land. And my opponent's taking damage faster than I'm able to make them gain life. This is rough. This is super rough. Yeah, they seem to be on straight up bug. I have not seen red for TBR or anything. Have I tried the Timor Uro lists? I don't even know what that is. More counter magic. Mystical Dispute. Okay. Not yet, but next turn we probably will have to sack this. Feels really bad. Yeah, that's the right one to decay. Feels bad, man. Yeah, it's too late for this. Grinding station. Yeah, we just died, right? Do I have any answers to this guy? I don't, right? Also, this gets taxed by the Damp Sphere. Yeah, I think we're just dead. We just don't have any more outs. Alright, feels bad, man. We're neighbor. Frollo with the donation. Thank you so much, Frollo. Well, I guess we're gonna have to stream it again, huh? Thank you so much for the support. And yeah, I mean, this deck was pretty sweet, honestly. I had a really good time playing it. It is definitely really complicated. It is definitely really complicated. Just a thank you, Dave. Thank you, Frollo. I appreciate it. I did enjoy it a lot, though. I did enjoy it a lot. Unfortunately, like with only five matches, it's pretty tough to try to figure out what works and what's missing. But overall, it looked pretty sweet. Like it looked like all the loops were pretty straightforward. Like once you got kind of like comfortable with them and or whatever. Um, I feel like there's a ton of play to it, especially when we really start to get into a point where people are burdening like more complex hate, like surgical extraction, rest in peace, that kind of stuff. So that's why I do like the inclusion of Beast Withins in the sideboard. Dismember was actually kind of clutch. I liked it a lot against I like it a lot against the Druid deck. It was definitely very, very important there. Um, I was actually surprised we managed to beat Jund pretty handily. That actually looked pretty impressive. But I guess once you get to the point where you're just naturally casting 10/10s, it makes sense that Jund would struggle with that, especially when they can come back from the yard. So it was definitely pretty sweet. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything that we can do to like make sure that like the difference between this card and this card is like winning the game and losing the game. So obviously the four steerings are a must. What I'm trying to figure out if there's like anything that we can do to kind of make sure that we can find Anvil more reliably. So Serum Visions. What are our options? Serum Visions, Opt. There's a 2-mana card. What's the name of the 2-mana card that puts a card in the graveyard? Maybe 2 mana is too much though, and we just can't afford to do 2 mana, so it kind of has to just be Serum Visions. What's the name of the card? Reshape where? No. It's a 2-mana card that looks at the top 3 cards, puts 2 in the graveyard, and then you draw 1. Witching Well, that's an idea actually, because we were definitely short on 1-drops, right? Multiple times we found ourselves in a situation where we almost had the loop, but we were missing 1-drops to get value from Scrap Trawler. Goblin Engineer finds Anvil. That's a good idea, actually. The problem with Goblin Engineer is that removal it's horrendous against this deck, and the moment that you put Engineer in your deck, you're making removal very good. So I don't know if I'm too excited about that aspect of things. Certainly it is food for thought, though. Certainly it is food for thought. The other thing, having most of the deck was something you can imprint this big, and it gets much worse on a mulligan. That is fair. That is fair. That is fair. We're currently on 37 artifacts, right? Which is nice. And if only this deck had access to Mox Soulpool. Yeah. All right. So let's try. So what this means is that now we don't want to play Gross anymore. We want to play Yavimaya Coast. And then we probably play Botanical Sanctum. I wonder if something like Chromatic Star would be good too. Yeah. Ooh, Astrolabe! How did I not think of Astrolabe? Alright, yeah, so we're off the Witching Well plan. We're still on mono green. And we're actually, unfortunately, playing Snow-Covered Forest now. Maybe we just need fetches instead of these, or more basics. Yeah, I guess that we only have 6. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so just do Chromatic Star then. Chromatic Star in place of the Elsewhere Flask, which is the worst one. Man, if we could make Astrolabe work, though, that would be such a big game. I don't think there's any way we can make actually work though. Yeah, I don't think we can make actually work. Chromatic Star does work though, and it's actually nice that we can get extra value when we suck to Metalwork Colossus. However, there's a lot of value too in making sure that the stuff that we play stays in play. So maybe we can do like 2 and 2, kind of like to have a split. I was also not too hot on the Mind Stones, to be honest with you. This felt like the worst card in the deck. So I could see shaving down to something like this. Another thing is that, and that's one of the reasons why I really wanted to make sure that we can play some number of chromatic stars. I feel like we just passed on turn 1 a little bit too often. Like there are just not many plays that we can make on turn 1. So adding some number of chromatic stars might be interesting, just to like test things out and see how it works. Can we throw 4 breach in there? It's just unnecessary, right? Like what is breach adding to what we already have doing? Like breach doesn't make our stuff cheaper. Also, if we have breach, then that card is going to be really hard for us to cast. So if we're throwing in breach, then we actually have to. Yeah, but we don't need to. We don't really need to ramp, right? Because we don't need that much mana to go off. We need 3 mana to go off, so we don't need the ramp as much. It's only nice because it's like it's a 2-drop that just stays in play, and you can tap for mana, obviously. But yeah, and it's a TM2 exactly. It's just like it's a card that just sits in play, right? Mindstone gives the option for a turn 3 kill. Yeah, but I mean, if you want to play a turn 3 kill deck, you probably are not going to be playing this deck because it seems extremely rare to turn 3 kill. Like you're just gonna play Amulet or Storm or something that turn 3s more reliably. Did we discuss Pentat Prism? Pentat Prism is interesting. It's nice because it's fixing. Actually something that also happened. Like multiple times, we had steerings in our hand and we were not able to cast it, which was a little bit rough. We also had like a Veil of Summer hand that it was great, but we just had to ship it because we didn't have green mana. So that's part of the reason why I'm trying to fit these chromatic stars here. Because like our colored mana situation seems pretty precarious. Yeah, Pented Prism seems rough to make work. We already are slow as fuck, right? I mean, we went 3 and 2, beating faster decks than us. The deck seems pretty robust, honestly. Like even when John was trying to beat us down and to like get rid of all of our resources, they just couldn't. They had Liliana going on for three turns, and it just didn't matter because like our stuff being in play is really good for us, and it progresses our game plan. And all of our stuff that's in play actually drew a card when it entered the battlefield, so it's kind of nice. Could see a Whir in there. It's just really hard to accommodate the mana for a Whir. Like if you're playing Whir, then you can't play Steerings, and you have to just play Mono Blue at that point. The mana is a big concern. Yo, what's up, Sam? How you doing? What is this deck? We just streamed 1 league with this Metalwork Colossus deck. We actually went 3 and 2. Let me update the record. We lost miserably to Death Shadow in what looked like a horrendous matchup. Let's see how it feels. I like that it turns on more of the green cyber card. Exactly, yeah. So that felt like kind of big deal, honestly. Like we were stuck on green sources a lot. So just like adding a little bit to to our, first of all, to our 1-drops, right? So this is more free value that we can get with the scrap trawler, because we have a bunch of 2s. Like 2s are not the problem. 1s are the problem, because we are definitely lacking in that department. I mean, I don't know if these are the numbers, right? Maybe 4 Mindstone is just the way to go, and 4 Elsework Flask is also the way to go. But I'm just kind of like thinking about the stuff that I saw that we figure out in those, the stuff that came up during those 5 matches, and trying to see if there's anything that we can do to try to improve on that. The lack of football really hits our color setup 100%. 100%. Deck performed really well as it was. Yeah, I liked it a lot. Hey Scott, welcome. Yeah, we're just wrapping up the stream. We played this deck through a league, and it was pretty awesome. Had a lot of fun playing it. Prophetic Prism used to be in place of Ellsworth Flask. Oh yeah. Well, I like that. I do also like what you said about being able to sack this. But the mana situation was pretty rough. Thank you for the follow, Aaron. Aaron Goru. Yeah, I actually kind of like this, the Prophetic Prism. Seems yeah, it was. I really struggled during the first match specifically. I struggled a lot, and also my opponent made me go through every single iteration because they were trying to time me out. So got there though. Yeah. So maybe something like this. Maybe this is what I would try for the next time. Also, the fact that we can sack Chromatic Star to Grinding Station for value, it's pretty sweet. It's pretty damn sweet that we get some extra little bit of value on the way out. In fact, is Chromatic Star just better than Conjurer's Bubble? Are we 100% sure that Conjurer's Bubble is superior to Chromatic Star? We got there with 40 seconds left. Yeah, it was great. Nailbiter. Used to get away with Syrinx and within the same deck had Mox Opal, I suppose, but a blue-green mana base shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, Mox Opal was a big part of that mana base though. Also, it didn't play as many colorless lands as we are playing. Like, this is a lot of colorless lands. We have 10 colored sources and 9 colorless sources. But honestly, like, the Sanctums have been stellar. Like, Sanctum felt like the best land in the deck by so much. It's crazy. Continues to draw card with a Rip or Leyline in play. Protects against Surgical. Alright, protection against Surgical is fair. Yeah, Surgical protection can be pretty real. Honestly, I just don't think that people are playing Surgical that much nowadays, though. If you self-mill all of your scrap trawlers, you still don't die. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Alright, so maybe just Conjurer's Bubble is the way to go. Maybe Conjurer's Bubble is just the way to go. Is this your new favorite deck? I mean, not really. I had a lot of fun playing it. Amulet is always my new favorite deck. And honestly, I've been spending too much just messing around with like mid-range Uro concoctions. So those are probably my new favorite deck. But yep, That's gonna be it for me. From me, thank you so much for everybody from being here. Hope that you enjoy the longer stream. If you are watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and you can check out more content uh, most days, honestly, every week at least, unless I'm out of town, like it happened a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.